What's going on, guys? Alex Bazookin here from Mr. Build It. Welcome back for another week in my garage. This week's project is going to be one that I think everybody can relate. Are you like millions of Americans who are suffering from old oak cabinets that you cannot paint because of the pores that are in the oak? I'm going to show you how for almost under $30 we can take these old dated cabinets and turn them into something that was built yesterday. So without wasting time, let's cue the intro. Let's go. So in order to accomplish this project, we're gonna need a few supplies. Number one, the main event, the Aqua Coat. It's a clear wood grain filler. On Amazon, I think it's like 20 or so bucks. You need an either squeegee or a scraper, or even a credit card, an old one. You need a rag and sandpaper. You'll need 80 grit, 120 grit, up to 220, and then for the finished project, 320-ish. Since everybody in this world hates sanding, I feel like we need to prep ourselves for this because we're in it for the long haul. So I say, let's cue some optimistic music. Not bad. Let's get to work. Alrighty, folks, first things first, just like any kind of project, we're gonna start by disassembling all the hardware. Really gonna make our lives so much easier, trust me. Sanding, the culprit of every divorce. We're gonna start by stripping the material using 80 grit sandpaper, followed by 120, followed by 220, right before we actually start applying the chemical wood filler. After ensuring that all the sawdust is off of your project, especially in all the small little nooks and crannies and the details, you're gonna take the Aqua Coat and you're gonna take a rag and start wiping against the grain. I find that using a circular motion works the best. That way it actually gets into the grain and you don't end up wiping it off when you go with the grain. Put on a nice, good, heavy coat. Keep in mind we're gonna do about 3 to 4 coats on this. You'll really start seeing the wood start saturating during this process. Once you ensure that the first layer is on, scrape off any excess material. You can go with the grain or against the grain. It really doesn't matter at this point as long as you don't use a rag, because if you use a rag and start wiping any of the excess material off, you are in jeopardy of pulling off any of the wood grain that we already put on the first coat into the pores. Allow the material to dry for about 30 to 40 minutes before applying the remainder 2 to 4 coats depending on your project. After 3 or 4 coats of the grain filler, use 320 grit sandpaper for a final sand to get project glass smooth, ready for paint. When painting, you can roll it, you can spray it. A paint and primer combination works fantastic. Overall, I think this project turned out great. You could still see some of the grain pattern. You just don't see the porous oak holes that are usually there. I think it's a great alternative where you don't have to buy a brand new cabinet and you don't have to build brand new doors. Well, that is it for me this week. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. A video comes out every single week, and I don't want you to miss a single one. Tune in out this week. We'll see you guys next week. See ya!